ये है स्टेट्स मिरर लाइव न्यूज। सुनिए आज की ताज़ा खबरें, झूठ होगा बेनकाब।
Xi wants both countries to handle border issue properly. Anant Krishnan Suhasini Haidar, New Delhi. China's foreign ministry said early on Friday that its president Xi Jinping told Prime Minister Narendra Modi during talks on Wednesday that both sides should bear in mind the overall interests of ties and handle properly the border issue. Beijing also said that the meeting between the leaders on the sidelines of the BRICS summit in Johannesburg came at the request of Mr. Modi. Informed sources, however, clarified that while India had sought an informal conversation with China, it had rejected a pending Chinese request for a more structured bilateral meeting between the two leaders. Concrete alliance BRICS found new purpose with expansion but contradictions too. If there was any doubt about the relevance of the BRICS grouping, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, which held its 15th summit in Johannesburg this week, the massive global interest in its outcomes should have put those to rest ever since the grouping set up as a coalition of emerging economies said last year that it was open to new members. As many as 40 countries from the global south have evinced interest in joining, with at least 22 formal applications. The decisions to more than double its membership overnight from 5 to 11 by inducting 4 major Middle Eastern players: Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates, as well as Ethiopia and Argentina from Africa and South America, respectively, is significant. The enthusiasm is obvious. BRICS has weathered several storms and is today seen, if not as any alternative, as a counter-narrative creator to the Western-led G7 club on diverse issues from climate change commitments and UN reform to its rejection of unilateral Western sanctions against Iran, Russia, and Venezuela, by also creating the new development bank, which has funded nearly 100 projects so far, instituting a contingent reserve arrangement and other institutional mechanism. The BRICS countries have also shown their ability to work on practical initiatives. While the grouping may not act rival the wealth of the G7, it does now rival its share of the global GDP, approximately 30% each, and represents a more equitable representation across 40% of the world's population to the G7 countries that make up just 10% once the new members join 6 of 10 of the biggest global oil suppliers. Oil suppliers will be BRICS countries, giving BRICS new heft in the held of energy. While the battle of providing its reason the deter may have been substantially won, the BRICS countries still fall short in the showing a coherence of purpose and are still mired by inner contradictions. The rivalry between India and China has no doubt slowed the grouping down and the introduction of arch rivals Iran and Saudi Arabia, UAE, despite their recent deterrent, could well create similar issues for the group in the future. In addition, any overtly political anti-Western stance by BRICS will make India and other countries in the grouping who walk a tightrope between the global powers, including Egypt, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and the Brazil, uncomfortable Russia's invasion of Ukraine too has caused uneasiness, and BRICS members did not vote as a bloc on any of the UN oaths, nor did any of the other members support Russia's actions, above all any attempts by China to overpower the group with its strategic or economic vision will require a firm pushback if the foundational idea of BRICS to assert the strategic autonomy of its members is to be followed. Eventually, it is the promise of shared prosperity and a more democratic model of global governance that attacks so many in the global south to the grouping and will provide the motor for any expanded lineup of BRICS countries. Thank you very much to everyone.
ये थे आज की धमाकेदार खबरें। झूठ होगा बेखा। इन खबरों को लाइक करें, शेयर करें और सब्सक्राइब करें। थैंक्स टू ऑल व्यूअर्स।